This weekend's fight night card, Ankalaev versus Walker 2. After what went down in their first fight, we got ourselves a rematch.
Prelim fight to keep an eye out for. It's not a super deep card for sure, but on the prelims, you have Andrei Arlovsky, the old grizzled vet, fighting up-and-comer Waldo Cortez Acosta, who has just been knocking people out left and right. I don't know if you remember, this commentary team always brings it up, though. He throws 100-mile-an-hour fastballs. He used to be a baseball player, so he uses that motion in his punching, those overhand punches for sure. Not the most technically gifted guy, does not protect his legs very well. So if Andre can just avoid the big shot, technique-wise, he should be able to pick him apart. I don't think he does. I think he gets knocked out, unfortunately, but it is an interesting fight to keep an eye out on.
For sure. And hats off to the veteran Arlovsky, still doing it. Right?
Yeah, for sure. Wasn't he on UFC 100 or something like that? He's he's back from that era. So respect to him for sure. Before we talk about the co-main event, shout out to another guy who was back on UFC 100. Jim Miller is on this card versus Gabriel Benitez. So hopefully, timing-wise, if Jim doesn't take too much damage in this fight, it lines up to get him on UFC 300. And just putting it out there, hopefully he gets this win. And maybe him and Tony can go at it for 300. That's a UFC 300-worthy fight. Prelim main event or something like that.
If Tony refuses to retire or something and Dana wants to give him the BJ Penn treatment and give him one more fight, that would be the fight right there, I guess.
Winner retires and loser also retires.
Yeah, I would be happy with that for both those guys. And I know Dana has said in an interview he'd like to get Jim Miller on UFC 300. Somebody actually interviewed him and said, please, just put Jim Miller on 300. And he said, we'll make it happen. And he even mentioned one of his staff members, but Jim has this fight, so we'll see what happens.
Yeah. Co-main event. Matheus Nicolau versus Manel Kape.
Matheus, 19-3-1, 6 KOs, 5 subs, 8 decisions, won 6 out of his last 7. Manel Kape is 19-6, 11 KOs, 5 subs, 3 decisions, and won 4 in a row. Very similar here. Both have 19 wins. Both have 5 subs. So it's a very interesting fight. I think I like Kape here a little bit, but I don't know. We'll see. I'll go with Kape by submission, maybe round 3.
I want to know why he's not fighting Kaikar France. He's the guy that had the streaming match with him. He was getting in Izzy's face about it when the fight was in Australia last year now. I don't know why that fight hasn't materialized. In the rankings, they're in similar spots, so maybe Kaikar France is injured or something, but that's the fight I want to see. So I know Kape has a split decision loss to Matheus in 2021, but I think he came back too soon from fighting Pantoja in February of that year. So I'm going to pick him. It's flyweights, so I'm going to pick by decision.
Yeah, you might be right on that. I'm hoping for a finish, so that's why I went sub. But interesting.
Yeah, I think we're going to get, we'll talk about it in the main event, but I think we're going to get most of the finishes on this card earlier on in the card, and we're going to get some long decisions towards the end. So let's move on to the main event. Magomed Ankalaev versus Johnny Walker 2.
All right, and I said after their last fight, which was an illegal knee, I'm trying to remember, I think Ankalaev hit it on Walker, right, which resulted in a no contest. Here we are.
Remember, Johnny Walker was kind of dazed, and then the doctor, who had no idea what was happening, was Abu Dhabi, came in and stopped the fight, and Johnny Walker pushed the ref, and it was a whole thing. Yeah.
So Johnny Walker, 21-7-1, 16 KOs, 3 subs, 2 decisions, won 3 out of his last 4, not counting the no contest. So Walker's a guy who's really looked like he's been putting it together more and more as a guy who basically started off as just kind of a, knockout or get knocked out type of guy. But he's been working there at a Conor McGregor's camp, SBG.
Yep.
Yeah. And he's looked sharp. Now, Magomed Ankalaev, 17-1-1, 9 KOs, 8 decisions. He's won 9 out of his last 11 fights. This is a guy we talk about all the time. He's pretty much almost undefeated. He's got the one loss to
Paul Craig,
thank you, which I always talk about with 1 second left in the fight that he was dominating. He gets caught in an arm bar and gets tapped out. And then he has these weird, no contests with Walker, and then a split draw with Jan Blachowicz, which a lot of people thought he won that fight. So it's like you could argue this man is pretty much almost undefeated and argue like he could be the best light heavyweight in the division. Not the most exciting, but the best. And I think sometimes the UFC is almost happy that this guy has these little screw-ups because they don't have to put him in. Because he is not stylistically like the most fun fighter, but he is damn sure effective. That being said, I'm going to pick Johnny Walker by knockout.
Hell yeah, let's go.
Because he's got weird luck, and the guy should be undefeated. He should be the most dominant. I'll tell you right now, if you're looking to make a bet, I would bet on Ankalaev, and I'll say by decision, or he may even finish it, like if he has the better cardio as this fight goes later. But something tells me that Walker's going to catch him. Like, that, something weird's going to happen. Johnny's got that power. He's sharp. And I don't know. I got this weird feeling Johnny will catch him. And we'll see what happens. But that's just I'm calling it.
You say that.
Round two.
Round two? You say that, and I picture in my mind when they call Johnny Walker's name as the winner by knockout, and the camera zooms in on him, and he does the smile and the smirk.
Yeah.
But I want Johnny Walker to win. I think his power keeps him in any fight, but like you said, smart money's on Ankalaev. I think he plays it very safe and boring, knowing that winner of this gets a title shot. Lots of clinching and wrestling without very many sub attempts or very much ground and pound. I wouldn't be surprised if this fight got stood up at some point. Winner, like I was saying, probably next for Pereira. I think Johnny versus Alex is a very fun fight. So I really, really hope that Johnny wins. But I got to go with Ankalaev by boring decision.
Yeah, I mean, you're probably right. I'm just going to try to will it in the universe that Walker pulls his off now.